The Padres pregame show on the Padres Radio Network.
Yeah, Machado laces it in the air to deep left. This one gonna go!
Coming up, we'll recap the last Padres game, preview today's starting pitching matchup, give you our keys to the game. Plus, we'll hear from manager Craig Stammen. From the Padres Radio Network, here's Sam Levitt.
San Diego Padres baseball coming up on 97.3 The Fan and the Padres Radio Network. As today the Padres take on the Cincinnati Reds in the first game of a three-game series. Our starting pitching matchup today for the Reds, left-hander Andrew Abbott, and for the Padres, right-hander Walker Buehler. Hi, good everybody. Sam Levitt with you from inside the loft here at the Western Metal Building at Petco Park. First pitch coming up at 6:40 p.m. Coming up in the next 50 minutes, we have a lot to do. You'll hear from Padres manager Craig Stammen. You'll hear from one of tonight's Padres outfielders, Samad Taylor, getting ready to make his second start as a Padre. And you'll also hear from Miguel Andujar, the latest on that hamstring issue that Andujar suffered yesterday. But first, it's time to set the table, brought to you by Fraser Farms Market. Set your table with the highest quality of natural and organic products from Fraser Farms Market, a San Diego original since 1971 with 3 locations, La Mesa Vista and Oceanside, and at FraserFarmsMarket.com. Both these teams are struggling right now. Padres are 33-31. They've lost 11 of their past 13 games. Reds, meanwhile, 31-33. They've lost 4 in a row. They're 11-22 since the beginning of May. The Reds were swept by the Cardinals this weekend. In that span, that 11-22 record, Reds have gone from first place in the National League Central to last place in that division. Padres and Mets played the rubber game of their series yesterday. Padres were looking for a series win. Let's quickly rewind.
Did you miss what happened in the last Padres game? Let's take a look back with our Padres Rewind on the Padres Radio Network.
Randy Vasquez on the mound for the Padres in the first inning yesterday. He gave up an early run. Padres were still down 1-0 in the second. That's when the Mets' Marcus Semien dug in.
Vasquez delivers. Semien swings, hits it in the air deep to left field. Taylor is back. He is at the wall. He will look, and it's going to go. Second straight game with a home run for Marcus Semien. And the Mets add on. It's 2-0 here in the second.
Padres were down 4-0 going bottom 5. Sean Manaea is still working for the Mets. Samad Taylor making his first start as a Padre, hit a 1-out single. That brought up Freddie Fermin.
Swings of the first pitch, hammers it in the air, deep to left field. Melendez is back. How about another Freddie Fermin? 2 days in a row, the Ferminator, a 2-run home run. And the Met lead is cut in half. It's 4-2.
Fernando Tatis Jr. then doubled, so the Padres brought the tying run to the plate. Jackson Merrill flew out. Tatis got thrown out trying to steal third base. The inning was over. Yuki Matsui gave up 2 solo home runs in the 6th inning. The Mets getting the runs right back. They led 6-2. Mets would later make it 7-2 in the bottom half of the 9th inning. It was Freddie Fermin who struck again.
2-1 pitch, hard hit on a line, over the third baseman, Beatty, and down the line. Taylor will race home and score easily. Fermin's on his way to second base. Melendez throw not in time. An RBI double for Freddie Fermin as he drives in another, and it's 7-3 here in the 9th.
That would be all the Padres got in the 9th inning. Final score yesterday, Mets 7 and the Padres 3. Padres dropping 2 out of 3 to the New York Mets. And now the Padres beginning the second half of this 6-game homestand with today's series opener against the Cincinnati Reds. As always, if you want to get involved on our pregame coverage, you can do that in a variety of ways. You can find me on X at Sammy Lev, SammyLev. Instagram DMs open as well, Sammy Lev there too. You can also comment on the 97.3 The Fan YouTube stream. Let me know who you are, where you're tuned in from, and if you have a key to today's game, I may just read your key to the game live here on the air. Padres sending Walker Buehler to the mound here today. He's been very, very good as of late. We'll talk more about him in just a moment. Left-hander Andrew Abbott on the mound for Cincinnati. Not only a very solid left-hander, comes in with a 4.06 ERA, but if you look up his career numbers, he has always been very, very good against the San Diego Padres. So a tough test for this Padres offense here tonight. We'll see if they can get it going against Andrew Abbott. With all that in mind, let's go inside the Jerry Coleman Broadcast Center.
Let's take a trip up to the Padres broadcast booth for a deep dive on today's matchup with Bob Scanlan in our Padres game preview on the Padres Radio Network.
Bob, let's focus on today's starting pitching matchup. Let's start with the Padres side of it. Walker Buehler continues to get better and better seemingly as the season rolls along. He has been really solid in his last 5 starts or so, especially. Bob, to you, what does Walker Buehler continue to do that allows him to have success?
Just consistency with his delivery, and the stuff has just gotten better and better, Sam. And we saw it early in the season. He was working with Ruben Niebla on some things, and you would see that it would work for the first 2 or 3 innings, and then all of a sudden it would get a little bit of, a little soft, a little fuzzy, so to speak, after the 3rd inning. And part of it was just the endurance of sticking with the new mechanics, being able to continue to repeat that delivery over and over and over again. And as the body would fatigue a little bit, all of a sudden the mechanics would get a little soft, the location would get a little soft, and the next thing you know, things would start to fall apart. But as we've seen, and as you mentioned, the last 5 outings, it's been a totally different story. He's been able to maintain the consistency on the delivery. We've seen the consistency in the stuff. And not only that, but in his last outing, Sam, as everybody noticed, he's throwing 2 to 3 miles an hour faster. And that's the key thing right there also. I shouldn't say the key thing, but a nice next step for him in terms of, okay, the delivery's there. Now it's consistent. Now you can take it deeper into the ball games. Oh, and you've got an extra 2 to 3 miles an hour on the fastball? Mm-hmm. Look out. It was sort of flashback of the old Walker Buehler before the elbow surgeries that we got a glimpse of in that last outing. And the way the progression has been, Sam, which is better and better and better each outing, we hopefully will see that progression continue.
Yeah, Buehler very, very good in that last outing in Philadelphia on Wednesday. 1 run allowed in 6 very strong innings. On the other side of this pitching matchup, Scans, we have left-hander Andrew Abbott. He's a really good left-hander. And, Bob, when you look at what he's done against the Padres, we'll get into the numbers a little bit later. Man, oh, man, he has been so good against the Padres in particular. What makes Andrew Abbott so good? What are the Padres contending with here tonight?
Yeah, he's had a couple of outings. Grant, in 2023, 2024, he pitched very well against the Padres, no doubt about it. And, it's nothing overpowering, Sam. It's a left-hander that pitches up in the zone, does a really good job of hiding the ball behind his delivery. And that's one of the things that actually he ran into trouble with earlier in the season. If you look at his early season stats, really not very good. But over the last 6 or 7, he's found himself again, and we'll go into more detail about that in the broadcast. But again, not an overpowering guy. Likes to pitch up in the zone, likes to get a lot of pop-ups, chasing after that, what looks like just this easy 91-mile-an-hour fastball that I can catch up to up in the zone. Next thing you know, you're popping it up in the air and shaking your head as you're jogging to first base on a pop-up. So that's his style of pitching. We'll see if the Padres can show some discipline on the pitches up, or if it's not elevated enough, if they can get on top of it.
Bob, I know this is sort of the key question around everything right now. I'm gonna ask it to you anyway and see what you think. I mean, what do you make of the Padres offense right now? Obviously, the numbers are what they are. It's been a rough stretch for this team. In your mind, how do the Padres get this offense cooking at a higher level?
Sam, I wish I knew the answer to that.
I know it's hard. I don't have an answer either.
No, nobody does. If somebody had an answer, it wouldn't be happening, right? Yeah. I mean, it's one of the conundrums that we're looking at, and it's kind of funny because every visiting broadcast team that comes in asks us the same thing. The first thing, what's going on here? You look at your lineup, and you've got guys that have established numbers, and we don't have an answer for them. So you talk to Craig, you talk to Steven Souza Jr., you talk to the players. Nobody really has a definitive. Because if they did, they would have fixed it, right?
Right.
The challenge at this point is just trying not to get caught up in the big picture of the struggles, whether it be team-wise or individual, right? And just try to stay focused on the one thing, and we've talked about this before, the one thing you do have control over, which is this game, and not only this game, but this plate appearance, and not just this plate appearance, but this pitch right here, right now. Because the more you start worrying about the bigger picture stuff and thinking about it and what you have to do to sort of overcome the slow start, you're not focused on the things you need to be focused on. And it's easier said than done. I've been there, as a pitcher. on the other side, when my ERA is sitting at 6.5 and I'm trying to calculate in my mind, okay, how many scoreless innings do I need to throw? And that's not going to get you anywhere. It's tough. But it really just comes down to staying focused on that one pitch. And we're seeing some flashes, right? We saw Jackson Merrill start to put together some quality at bats for 7 to 10 games. Fernando has been doing a great job of getting on base and getting base hits. Ty France continues to be consistent all season long, so there are some positives in there. We just need to see more of them from more guys.
Scan, see, that's why you're the best. I asked you like an impossible question, and you came up with great insight. Bob, appreciate the time.
I don't know if it's great insight.
No, it was great. It was great. Hey, everybody's asking me, too. I walk inside the loft. People are like, hey, what's going on? I'm like, hey, you got to hope they turn it around. We'll see. Bob, appreciate the time. We'll talk to you and Jesse coming up at 6:30. As always, thanks so much.
Sounds good. Thank you, Sam.
All right, that is Bob Scanlan joining us on our EcoWater SoCal Padres pregame show here on the Padres Radio Network. First pitch is coming up at 6:40. Look, no doubt about it, that is the question surrounding the San Diego Padres right now, how they're going to get this offense going into a much higher gear. We'll see if they can do that here tonight with left-hander Andrew Abbott on the mound for the Cincinnati Reds, and the Padres sending right-hander Walker Buehler to the hill. When we return, we'll hear from Padres manager Craig Stammen. We take our first look at this Padres lineup here today. First pitch coming up at 6:40 on the Padres Radio Network.
You're listening to the Eco.
EcoWater SoCal Padres pregame show continues here on the Padres Radio Network. Sam Levitt with you inside the loft here at the Western Metal Building at Petco Park as we get ready for Game 1 of this three-game series between the Padres and the Cincinnati Reds. Left-hander Andrew Abbott on the mound for the Reds today. It's right-hander Walker Buehler on the mound for San Diego. Let's take a look at the Padres lineup today. Looks like this. Fernando Tatis Jr. at second base leading off. Jackson Merrill in center field batting second. Ty France, the first baseman, batting third. Manny Machado at third base, batting cleanup. Xander Bogaerts at shortstop, batting fifth. Gavin Sheets, the DH, batting sixth. Jace Bowen back in there today, playing right field, batting seventh. Samad Taylor in left field, batting eighth. And Freddie Fermin is doing the catching and batting ninth, with right-hander Walker Buehler again on the mound. No Miguel Andujar in the Padres lineup here today. Andujar came out with a little hamstring tweak in yesterday's game. We'll hear from Craig Stammen about Andujar in a moment, but again, Miguel not in today's starting lineup. Let's go downstairs, hear from the Padres skipper before first pitch coming up at 6:40.
Let's pull up a seat in the manager's office and hear from Padres skipper Craig Stammen. Served up by Sinley Food. If you've had better chicken, you must be a rooster.
Andujar. Obviously, you got the medicals today, but what's his status?
Day to day, evaluating him, periodically throughout the day, see how he's feeling. We'll see if we can get ramped up, and then potential to hit tonight as a pinch hitter, and we'll see about playing going forward.
Craig, how would you assess what Walker Buehler has done these last 4 or 5 starts?
Yeah, he's been, definitely pitching well. His last start was really good, getting through 6 innings for the first time. We've really liked what we've seen from him. Continued velocity, in that 94, 96 range. I think he feels good about where he's trending to, using, a myriad of different pitches that he hasn't used in the past, and learning out how to be the new Walker Buehler that's still successful in the big leagues. But I think the one thing that he brings to the table that, we love having is that he's been there, done that. We were asking him, how many World Series starts have you had? And he's one of the few guys that can say, he's had multiple World Series starts and knows how to compete at the highest level and knows how to get through games at the highest level.
With 2 strikes in particular, he's been really good. When he gets ahead, what is he doing to put away hitters?
Yeah, he's executing pitches, and that's what it is with 2 strikes is, can you execute a pitch that you believe you've set up with the hitter? And when he's executing pitches at a high clip, he's going to get some strikeouts.
What's Campy's next step?
Campy's still, working through a progression here, hitting wise, catching wise. He's been catching bullpens, been swinging a little bit, off the tee, but, still a little ways away. He's got to play in some games, all that kind of stuff. So still working through it.
Now that it's been as long as it has, how long would a rehab be extended, or could it be quick?
Probably depends how good he's hitting. I think the catching stuff he's been able to stay pretty locked in on. He's been able to keep throwing. He's been able to catch bullpens. It's just like the moving around, the blocking, being able to get out of his crouch and throw down a second. Those things have been a little bit more difficult for him.
How much would you say the health component of the team has kind of affected the way the results have gone the last couple of weeks? With missing Cronenworth, Campy, now Laureano, and Andujar. How would you say that's affecting the way you guys are playing?
Yeah, it's never easy when you have injuries and to key guys that have been a big part of our team, big part of our success at the beginning of the year, and the success the Padres have had over the last 5-6 years. So, we definitely miss them, but it's a good thing that we think most of those guys will all be back and we'll be able to get them in the lineup. And, hopefully we start playing a little bit better baseball, start swinging the bats a little bit better, and then we get those guys back and we'll hit the ground running.
Have you noticed a cumulative effect to missing them more and more as they've been gone?
The guys that we have in the lineup are really good baseball players also. They're major leaguers for a reason, and we feel like we can win with the guys that we have currently. Obviously guys on the IL can definitely make us a better team. They've proven that in the past, and, we believe both can happen, throughout the year.
Craig, looking at the guy the Reds have going today, left-hander Andrew Abbott, his numbers sort of jump off the page when you look at what he's done against the Padres in particular in his career. What are some of the challenges that a guy like Abbott presents?
Yeah, he's been tough on us the last few years, no doubt. But he's a pitcher. He's very competitive out there. Came up as a rookie. We didn't quite know a lot about him, but now we know a lot about him. He's established himself as a very good major league starting pitcher and all-star caliber starting pitcher. So we got our work cut out for us. It's never an easy day in the big leagues. We got to fight for it. It's going to be a lot of fun taking on the challenge today.
You make a lot of references. Sometimes you can hit a ball square, but it goes directly to fielder. That can contribute a little bit to not having success on the at-bats. But for me, what I've seen the last couple of days, where it's not just homers, there'll be a double, just he's keeping on the contact, but they're finding their spots now.
Yeah, it's always nice when the balls fall in. One, it calms your mind a little bit that you will get a hit. I think, sometimes when you see those line drives go at people and it happens multiple times in a row, the inclination is I need to change something. to get the hits, to chase that result. And a lot of times you just got to stick to that same process that those guys are sticking to, and eventually those line drives are going to fall in.
AJ's always aggressive, trying to improve the team, but given the struggles, the team, and some of the injuries, do you expect him to really ramp it up sooner than later?
AJ is going to do his job very well. He always does his job very well. It's fun being the manager of an AJ Preller GM team because he's never going to rest until things are figured out or until he gets the right mix, on the roster. And so, AJ is going to do his thing. He and I talk about different things, different concepts all the time. Some of them come to fruition and sometimes they don't. I just know that he's here to win. We're here to win, and we're going to figure it out.
That was Padres manager Craig Stammen earlier today inside the Padres dugout. We'll hear more from Craig on our post-game coverage coming up later on this evening. Let's quickly pause for station identification on the Padres radio network.
KWFN and KWFN HD1 San Diego.
Hi, this is Xander Bogarts from the San Diego Padres. You're listening to Padres Baseball on the Padres Radio Network.
And Odyssey Sports Station.
Sam Levitt with you inside the loft here at the Western Metal Building at Petco Park. First pitch is coming up at 6:40. Still a lot to do. We'll hear from Miguel Andujar and Samad Taylor coming up in our next couple of segments. Right now, let's tell you who's hot, who's not.
Which player is locked in at the dish? Who needs to step up their game? This is Who's Hot, Who's Not. Presented by ASAP Drain Guys and Plumbing, a division of Anderson Commercial, your full-service plumber serving San Diego County.
Well, we keep one guy in the hot category. Fernando Tatis Jr. is batting .396 in his last 13 games. Oh, by the way, Fernando against Red starter Andrew Abbott is 5 for 13 with a home run against him. So we'll see if that plays a factor into tonight's matchups between Tatis and Abbott. The not category, we take a look at three very, very key guys. Xander Bogaerts, 1 for 19 in his last 6 games. Manny Machado is batting .112 in his last 31 games. Jackson Merrill, 1 for 11 in his last 3 games, and that one hit was a single. And that's a quick look at who's hot, who's not, as we get ready for first pitch coming up at 6:40. Now let's take a look at some Major League headlines as we go around the horn.
Let's examine the most important news and the latest information you need to know in the world of Major League Baseball. Sam Levitt takes you around the horn. Presented by Valley View Casino and Hotel. Get ready for Major League winning when you join Valley View Casino and Hotel's Players Club and receive over $200 in free instant offers. Visit valleyviewcasino.com to learn more today.
The Orioles placed right-hander Chris Bassett on the 15-day IL today with low back discomfort, so he'll be out for a little bit of time for the O's. The Mariners putting shortstop J.P. Crawford on the 10-day IL today with a right hand contusion. A's third baseman Max Muncy has come off the injured list after missing about 6 weeks with a fracture in his left hand. The Diamondbacks have signed outfielder Max Kepler, who is still serving an 80-game suspension for testing positive for a performance-enhancing drug. But he has joined the D-backs. He can start a minor league rehab assignment on Wednesday when the suspension is scheduled to have 15 days remaining. So he may join the Diamondbacks here soon. Max Kepler going to Arizona. And finally, Tigers ace Tarik Skubal pitched 5 scoreless innings on Sunday in a rehab assignment. The 2-time Cy Young Award winner's first minor league rehab appearance since undergoing elbow surgery last month. So he's on the way back, Tarik Skubal. And that's a quick look at some of the headlines from around the major leagues. We'll have a full look at the out-of-town scoreboard coming up in just a little bit. When we come back, we hear the latest on Miguel Andujar. I go one-on-one with today's starting left fielder, Samad Taylor, as well. First pitch coming up at 6:40, Game 1 of this 3-game series between the Padres and the Reds on the Padres Radio Network.
Hello, friends. It's Woodsy here. Is your
Our EcoWater SoCal Padres pregame show continues here on the Padres Radio Network. Sam Levitt with you inside the loft here at the Western Metal Building at Petco Park. First pitch is coming up at 6:40. EcoWater SoCal, keeping it soft since 1925. Visit EcoWaterSoCal.com or call 760-350-3338. That's 760-350-3338. Walker Buehler on the mound tonight for the Padres. Andrew Abbott on the mound for the Reds. We'll talk more about that pitching matchup in just a little bit. Let's tell you about the injuries for the Padres and Reds entering this series.
Who's in? Who's out? This is the Bada Fulkerson Injury Report, presented by San Diego's Bulldog Injury Attorneys, who hope you're never in an accident. But if you are, make Bada Fulkerson the first call you make. Hit them up 24/7 at BadaFulkerson.com.
Well, let's first get you up to speed on what the Reds are dealing with. They are without their star shortstop right now, Elly De La Cruz. He's dealing with a right hamstring strain. He has begun some light baseball activity, scheduled to have an MRI later this week, but he is missing this series for the Reds. So the Padres, in a way, get a break there, missing out on Elly De La Cruz in this series. They're dealing with some injuries in their bullpen as well. Pierce Johnson, former Padre, on the IL with right elbow inflammation. Emilio Pagan on the IL with a grade 2 left hamstring strain. Jose Trevino also on the IL with a left hamstring strain. And Hunter Green, he's been out since before the season after having right elbow surgery. He did throw a side session last week, and sounds like he's going to face live hitters here soon. They expect him to be back in not too long amount of time. And that is a look at some of the injuries for the Cincinnati Reds. As far as the Padres, we know Miguel Andujar came out of yesterday's game after tweaking his hamstring. Here was Miguel inside the Padres clubhouse earlier today talking about his injury with reporters.
First of all, how are you feeling?
Oh, better. I mean, I feel something in my hamstring, but nothing crazy. I think I'll be available for maybe pinch hit tonight.
Okay. How long have you been dealing with this? Is this something that you've kind of been dealing with most of the season or part of the season?
No. Well, it was bad, like a couple of weeks bad, like a month. But yesterday I was feeling 100%, but, something happened in the game we can control, but I feel better today.
How would you assess the way this offense has gone the last couple of weeks and what you guys are trying to do to kind of get out of the funk that you're in?
I mean, I know everybody knows it's tough, but at the end of the day, we're trying to find a way to be better as a group, as a team. So we try to keep work hard and keep competing.
Had you dealt with the hamstring in past seasons before this season?
No, I think that was the first time I had a problem with my hamstring.
Was it affecting you early this season when you were swinging at all?
No.
You obviously, I don't know your status, but playing the Reds, you've had a nice season with them. What is it like to kind of get to see some of those guys and see that team?
I mean, it's good to see the boys here. I have a couple of friends there, so it's, I want to play, so but I'll be ready for whatever.
What do you think this team is mentally adjusting to just how difficult the season has been and now the injuries that you guys have come across?
I mean, like I said, it's tough, but at the end of the day, we try to compete, try to do the best we can as a field and try to do 100% everybody.
You guys feel strongly that the answers lie within this clubhouse?
I mean, yeah, everybody knows it's tough, but at the end of the day, we're together. I think we're trying to find a way to keep competing.
That was Miguel Andujar inside the Padres clubhouse earlier today. So Miguel echoing what we heard from Craig Stammen a little bit earlier. They'll see how Miguel's feeling as the evening progresses. Miguel may or may not be available off the bench today as a pinch hitter. And as we get updates on Miguel Andujar's status, we'll continue to pass it along. First pitch coming up at 6:40, series opener between the Padres and the Reds. Let's take a full look at the out-of-town scoreboard.
Let's take a trip around the bigs to highlight the scores that matter most with our out-of-town scoreboard. Presented by Jensen Premium Beef Patties. Always a hit for grilling.
We have 4 games going on right now. The Mariners lead the Orioles 6-3 in Baltimore in the 9th inning. Rays lead the Red Sox 2-1 in Tampa Bay in the 8th. The Guardians 5, Yankees 4 in the 7th inning in Cleveland. Phillies and the Blue Jays in Toronto tonight Phillies leading 5-2 in the 7th inning. Everything else is, coming up a little bit later. Astros and the Angels in Anaheim at 6:38. Grayson Rodriguez against Spencer Arrighetti, the pitching matchup there. Nationals and the Giants at 6:45 in San Francisco. Richard Lovelady on the mound for Washington. Logan Webb on the mound for San Francisco. Brewers and the A's in Sacramento tonight at 7:05. Kyle Harrison on the mound for Milwaukee. Jeffrey Springs on the mound for the Athletics. And that is a full look at the out-of-town scoreboard on this Monday evening. We'll have much more on all those games coming up a little bit later during our post-game coverage. How do the Padres get a win here today in this series opener against Cincinnati? Let's dive into our keys to today's game.
How will the Padres unlock a win today? These are the keys to the game. Presented by Rock and Block Turf and Hardscapes. Beautiful artificial turf that stays green all year long. Trust and experience. The job isn't done until it's done right. See them at rockandblocklandscape.com.
Key number one, make Abbott work. We'll get into why in a moment, but it is very important that the Padres at bare minimum make lefty Andrew Abbott work hard in this game. Throw a lot of pitches. Get him out of this game early tonight. Abbott has a 2.12 ERA in 6 starts since the beginning of May. That's after posting a near 6 ERA in his first 7 starts of the season. Abbott has been dominant, flat out dominant against the Padres in his career. He is 2-0 with a 0.98 ERA in 4 career starts against San Diego, just 3 earned runs allowed in 27 2/3 innings. So let's temper expectations. However, let's say that a definite key tonight is at least making this guy Abbott work, make him throw pitches. That's key number one. And that brings us into key number 2. Why is it so important that Andrew Abbott get out of this game early, that the Padres make him work? Well, that's because the Reds bullpen has not been good at all as of late. Reds relievers are 2-11 with a 6.97 ERA in the team's last 37 games. The Reds defense has also been subpar. They've committed an error in every game of their current 4-game skid. So if you can make Abbott work and get into this bullpen, Padres should have a pretty good chance against these relievers. Can the Padres capitalize against this Reds bullpen and against this Reds defense? That's key number 2. Key number 3, Buehler getting ahead. Walker Buehler has been really solid in his last 5 starts, a 3.29 ERA in 27-plus innings. He gave up just 1 run in 6 innings in Philadelphia last Wednesday. But Buehler has been especially good when getting 2 strikes on hitters this year. His 114 opponent batting average with 2 strikes this year is 6th best in the National League. So Buehler's been good. He's got ahead, and when he gets ahead, when he gets 2 strikes on you, he is really difficult to deal with. Can Walker Buehler do that here today against this Reds lineup? And that's a look at our keys to today's game. When we come back, I go one-on-one with today's starting left fielder, Samad Taylor. Much more to do as we walk you up towards first pitch coming up at 6:40 on what should be a beautiful Monday evening here in downtown San Diego. Our pregame coverage continues after this.
We'll be right back to
Beautiful night here in downtown San Diego. Game one of this 3-game series between the Padres and the Cincinnati Reds coming your way. First pitch at 6:40. We send things out to Jesse Agler and Bob Scanlan inside the Jerry Coleman Broadcast Center in just about 12 minutes. Samad Taylor playing left field for the Padres here today, getting his second consecutive start. Taylor had a nice impact on yesterday's game. Made a couple of really nice defensive plays in left field. Taylor also offensively walked twice, had a single, scored a couple of runs. So, look, that's what you're looking for from Samad Taylor in the bottom part of this lineup. He's batting 8th today, playing left field. Play good defense, get on base. He's a guy who has great speed and wreaked some havoc on the ball game. And Taylor certainly had a nice first start as a Padre yesterday. I caught up with Samad Taylor inside the Padres clubhouse earlier today. Have a listen.
Sam Levitt here on the Padres Radio Network as we get ready for today's game against the Cincinnati Reds. And right now I'm joined by Padres outfielder Samad Taylor. Samad, getting your second start in a row here today. Nice job yesterday. Got on base, a base hit in the game, made some great defensive plays in left field. How have your first few days as a Padre been?
I mean, it's been great. As the fans know, Petco Park's amazing. Look where we're at. We're in paradise. You can't ask for anything better than this.
When you arrived a few days ago, what was your hope as far as what you could bring to this ball club?
Just to hear my name. I'm here, like I said, and any way I could help the team win and help the team get in the category of winning again, and that's all. I'm not gonna try to do too much. I'm not gonna try to be somebody I'm not. I'm just gonna show up and give my all and hope we can get the winning back on track.
You've been in this situation before with other teams, getting called up, being asked to play a role on a team. How do you, I suppose, sort of prevent yourself from, I guess, trying to do too much when you get those opportunities, or maybe put too much pressure on the opportunities when you do get in the lineup?
Just understanding what my role is. Everybody wants to be a superstar. I believe I'm a superstar to myself, but I'm not going to try to come out here and do too much. When my name's called, I'm going to be ready. I'm going to prepare myself to be ready so I don't have to be all panicky when my name's called. So just stay consistent with my work and just stay ready when I got it.
From a defensive standpoint, we saw it on full display yesterday, what you can do in the outfield. How would you describe yourself as a defender? What gives you an advantage?
Speed and my first step now. Talking to the staff early in spring training, big thing was first step. Went down to El Paso, and that was the one thing I worked on for the most part, was just quicker first step. And as we all know, the speed's there, and with a quick first step, speed's going to take over, and it's going to be elite.
What are the types of drills during spring training and throughout the year that you use to work on that first step in particular?
Not so much drill aspect of it, but just live reads, batting practice. And then once I got up here working with Macias and Vinny, it's been elite. And I can't ask for anything better to just keep working. And like I said, just put the team in a situation to win.
You talk about batting practice and getting those reads. When you come to play at a new ballpark, is that something that you had to go out the last couple of days and get out there and sort of just get yourself accustomed to the sight lines, things like that?
Oh, 100%. Like you said, first time being in the ballpark, first time playing in the ballpark.
Yeah.
Going to new ballparks every 4 days or whatever the case may be. The best work you can get is getting out there early and figuring out the ballpark, how the ball flies, how the ball moves off the wall and stuff like that. And we did that the first 2 days we were here. So It's been a blessing. And like I said, I just want to win and want to get the team back in the category of winning.
We're joined by Padres outfielder Samad Taylor here on the Padres Radio Network. Samad, getting to play here as a Padre at Petco Park for the first time. You saw it over the course of the weekend. I mean, this place is packed every night. It's pretty impressive what they do. It'll be big crowds again during the week against the Reds. What was your experience like the first few days being a Padre in this building?
It's a blessing. You got a bunch of legends that paved the way for us. And I mean, as you know, you look around the ballpark, you hear the crowd. Freddie hit the home run, the crowd went electric. There's nothing better than that. Just hear the crowd, get behind the guys, and just keep working. And like I said, just get back on the track and win it.
Finally, you've alluded to it a few times here. Obviously, this has been a tough stretch for the team. You only showed up a few days ago, but you have been around this group for a while, going back to spring training. You were in spring training the whole time in Peoria. What's your impression of this clubhouse, and what gives you confidence that this group can start playing some better baseball, really in all facets?
Everybody pulls for each other. That's the biggest thing. That's the main thing that I noticed in spring training. Everybody pulls for each other, and everybody has one goal. The one goal is to win, and we're going to do whatever it takes to win, and you can see it. We're in a rut, but the boys are fighting, and we're going to keep fighting. And when you look up in a couple months and you see us in a good spot, just know that we're always going to fight, and we're never going to give up, and we're always going to pull for each other.
Samad, great job yesterday in your first start as a Padre. Good luck today in your second start as a Padre here at Petco Park. Thanks so much.
I appreciate you guys. Thank you.
That was new Padres outfielder Samad Taylor earlier today inside the Padres clubhouse. Samad again batting 8th, playing left field for the Padres here today. Jace Bowen playing right field, batting 7th for the Padres in this one. And we'll see how these guys do, if they can take advantage of the opportunities being given to them. Certainly a very nice opportunity with Samad Taylor and Jace Bowen both getting some playing time. Should also mention Freddie Fermin, who has been so good as of late. 2 home runs in as many days. Freddie drove in 5 out of the 6 runs the Padres scored in the 3 games against the Mets, and Freddie doing the catching again tonight and batting 9th. So we'll see what the 7, 8, 9 batters can do. Bowen, Taylor, and Fermin. This Cincinnati Reds team, they can hit some home runs. They've homered 59 times over their last 41 games. 7th most home runs hit by a team in the major leagues in that span. They've hit 2 or more home runs in a game 22 times this season. So this is a team that can hit the long ball. With that in mind, let's tell you what to watch for in this series opener.
What's the one thing Sam Levitt will be keeping his eye on in today's game? This is What to Watch For. Presented by Genesis Home Improvements, San Diego's trusted painting, roofing, and window company. Save 15% today on a new beginning for your home. Visit GenesisHomeImprovements.com.
What to watch for in today's game. Can the Padres limit Matt McClain? You'll look at this Reds lineup. You'll get down to the number 7 spot, the shortstop Matt McClain. You'll see a guy who's hitting only .206, but the Padres have to be very careful against McClain today. Here's why. McClain has hit home runs in back-to-back games, including 2 home runs yesterday in St. Louis. So that's 3 home runs in a 2-game span. He's hot right now. Do not sleep on Matt McClain in that number 7 spot. Can the Padres limit him? That's what to watch for in today's game. Other hitters to watch in this Reds lineup, Sal Stewart, who's good friends with Manny Machado. They know each other from Miami, work out in the offseason together. Stewart, one of the bright young budding stars in our game. 12 home runs, .253 batting average on the season. Eugenio Suarez, remember, is a Cincinnati Red, came up with the Reds, signed with the Reds this past offseason. He's had a slow start, just 4 home runs at .209 batting average, and a number of different guys to focus on as well in this Reds lineup. I'm sure Jesse and Bob will talk plenty more about that as tonight's game rolls along. Let's set the table one more time for you as we get ready for this one. A series that it almost feels like, well, something's got to give. Both these teams are struggling right now. Padres come in 33-31. They've lost 11 of their past 13 games. Reds are now 31-33. They've lost 4 in a row. They are 11-22 since the beginning of May. They just got swept in a 3-game series against the St. Louis Cardinals. So which one of these teams will take this series and build some momentum off of it? Will it be the Padres or will it be the Reds? Tonight, the Padres hand the ball to right-hander Walker Buehler, who has been very, very good as of late. We'll see if Walker can get the Padres off on the right foot here tonight. As always, we appreciate you listening to our EcoWater SoCal Padres pregame show here on the Padres Radio Network. When we come back, we send things out to the Jerry Coleman Broadcast Center. Jesse Ackler, Bob Scanlan standing by and ready to go. They'll have the full starting lineups, first pitch, and all the play-by-play. I'll talk to you on our post-game coverage. You're listening to your home for San Diego Padres baseball, 97.3 The Fan, and the Padres Radio Network.
Hey, it's Gravy.